on the evening of Monday, November the 10th, a Hyundai i20 with a Haryana registration plate exploded at the Subhash Marg traffic signal near gate number 1 of Delhi's Red Fort metro station. The tragic blast killed 12 people and injured more than 20 others. Several vehicles caught fire, panic struck, and a transnational terror module rose to the surface. Now several pieces of the puzzle are falling into place, even as more questions come to the fore. Police and intelligence agencies have intensified their investigation, leading to massive raids and several individuals being detained. Several revelations also have been unearthed, with investigators unlocking key links to the case. Meanwhile, Prime Minister Narendra Modi continues to keep a close eye on the situation. The Prime Minister rushed to the LNJP Hospital upon arriving back in India from Bhutan. Prime Minister Modi also met with the injured, taking an update on their situation from the present doctors. Now, a key meeting of the Cabinet Committee on Security is expected to be held very shortly, chaired by the Prime Minister himself. The meeting will take a look at the overview of the situation, with Home Minister Amit Shah sharing all the updates from the situation. I want to open up this for discussion, and joining me on the broadcast are Major General G.G. Dwivedi, Global and Strategic Defence Expert, M.L. Sharma, former Special Director CBI, M.K. Meena, former IPS officer, and Joyatha Basu, editor of the Sunday Guardian. I thank you all for joining us, appreciate your time. I want to start off this discussion with Major General G.G. Dwivedi. Sir, we want to understand, our surveillance and intelligence systems have been very robust. We can trace all this back to that one FIR on October 19th, which was filed in Jammu and Kashmir. Now this entire terror ecosystem is coming to the fore with transnational links, sir. How do you look at this white-collar terrorism coming to the fore?
Well, Shivani, definitely, the terrorists and the organizations which indulge in terrorism, they keep changing their modus operandi. And now we are seeing a new kind of a situation where the white-collar terrorism is now taking shape. And this was expected because terrorists always keep changing their tactics and their ways of operating. Now, having said that, now this white-collar terrorism actually is a new phenomena in the national capital region. And how this all has evolved, well, a couple of jiggle pieces have been put together. Firstly, all of them, they have their origin or their residences in the valley. Either it is in the area of Pulwama or Anantnag. Second point is they are all doctors. They are well educated, very high professionals, and therefore this method of operating means that generally you don't home on such people, because most often the terrorism is linked with the lower radicalized element who are actually radicalized in madrasas. So this is one phenomena that one has to keep in mind. The second is, yes, I think our intelligence agencies need to be congratulated, because they have built the whole picture over a period of time, and intelligence takes time to put together because it doesn't come in one spurt. You have to slowly link up the pieces, and they did bust up this module of Al Falah Medical College in Faridabad. The third point is that where do we go from here? That's very important, because couple of things are still not unraveled as to how the blast actually have taken place, and having operated in all type of insurgency and militancies in Valley and Punjab and in Northeast, is a new phenomena, because the blast have been orchestrated without the normal trigger mechanism, and the explosive was most likely ammonia nitrate. Now this is one thing which need to be pieced together. The second issue is that handlers abroad, because there are indications that handlers were in the Turkey and Afghanistan, and the needle points to the Jaish-e-Mohammed outfit. And of course, the Cabinet Committee on Security, the highest security body, will take stock of the situation. Prime Minister himself is heading it, and two things will be very clear which will be discussed. Firstly, how this whole issue actually happened and how much we know so far, and what should be the further course of action so that such instances are obviated, or at least for other modules are also, they are also trapped, because complete picture is yet not emerged. It's a work in progress, and as the days unfold, I think we'll get more clear picture on the whole instance. Shivani.
Absolutely. ML Sharma sir, I want to come to you now, and taking a cue from what Major General Dwivedi actually pointed out, this is a new system of triggering the explosion. We also, through the postmortems that have come to the fore, that our sources are revealing to us, that the entire postmortem that was done, this is a new kind of explosive that has been used. There were no nails, which we usually look for when we look at victims who were part of this terror blast. There were no nails, and this entire wires, etc. was not there. So they were not traditional explosive materials. What does this suggest about the nature and the intent of these perpetrators, sir? All right, we'll try to reconnect over there with Mr. ML Sharma. Mr. Sharma, I would like you to please join our broadcast again. We believe we've lost the connection over there.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, yes, we can hear you.
Yeah, now the intention was very clear. They wanted to cause large-scale damage, mayhem across the country. And even though we have lost 12 people and a lot of damage to the cars and other things, but even then I would say that country has been very lucky that the whole module got exposed so early and so soon. You see the fact that 3,000 kgs explosives has been recovered. Now you divide it in 10 parts or whatever, and you can see how much damage can be committed across the country. It's not a new module, it's not a unique thing that ammonium nitrate has been used as per newspaper reports. And the reason why nails and other things are not there in it is because the theory that Dr. Umar got nervous and therefore out of anxiety, it's not so much of accident, I think it's out of anxiety. He knew that the agencies are catching up, they have caught others, and they'll be caught up, they'll also be catching him soon. So before it's happening, he wanted to do something with a suicidal tendency. So therefore, I'm not surprised that, because he didn't get the time to put nails and other things, and therefore the damage was limited to that extent. So now this is, even though the Dramatis Personae are Indians from across the country, but their handlers are elsewhere. And I have a gut feeling that since Pakistan got a big beating at the hands of India in Operation Sindoor, they are provoking India. And they want India to take some precipitate action so that they can take revenge of the beating that they have got. This is my feeling, even though it's not based on any authentic information, but this is my gut feeling. And therefore, terrorism, we have been living it a long time, and we have to live with it, and we have to suffer losses. But in the process, we also have to inflict losses on the perpetrators and the handlers, which we have been doing. So the scenario, to me, doesn't seem to be very bright on this front. Things are going to happen for some time, for a long time to come, till so long as Pakistan is there, terrorism will be perpetrated, continue to be perpetrated in this country. So how long and for how many years Pakistan survive, I don't know. They're digging their own grave. They don't know India's potential, and they don't know India's political leadership. They don't know the potential of armed forces. Now I'm happy that all police forces of the country have joined their hands, and they are pursuing this case very vigorously. and it needs to be uh, done so for another 15-20 days, because criminal investigation generally, whatever happens, it happens first 15 days, generally, mostly. Later, subsequently, we fill up the gaps and all that. But I have one point to make about the legal position. After all investigations conducted, evidence collected, to see to it that such like perpetrators of terrorism are given hanging by the courts concerned. But our law, which governs these activities, UAPA, Unlawful Activities Prevention Act, and all that, according to me, is a very weak law. I have enforced TADA in its heydays, when terrorism was at peak in Punjab. So, a strong law like TADA should be brought back. I fail to understand why should any government, previous government hesitated, even present government has hesitated, even though they have brought in anti-terror law in the form of Section 113 in the Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita, but it doesn't have those kind of potent clauses or provisions which were there in TADA or POTA. So some thought has to be given. Problem with the Indian police system is that the statements made by all these people, even witnesses, they are not liable to be signed, and therefore later they turn hostile. Confessional statements cannot be recorded, and such like people don't volunteer to make any confessional statement for the courts. And then in TADA and POTA, there were certain presumptions which could be raised against the accused persons. So the Indian investigating agencies are deprived or devoid of all these potent provisions of the old laws, which are no more in existence. So this is the weak area as far as the legal aspect is concerned. Otherwise, our agencies have potential, potent, and they have shown it. They can do it. And I have a gut feeling that many more arrests are likely to be made, because when so many people are involved, they have their connections. Everyone will have their connection, one or the other. So they'll be exposed in due course. Another thing is that entrustment of this case to the NIA, my feeling, personal feeling is, it was a little too early. Because the sources of NIA or CBI for that matter, I've handled terror cases, CBI officers, they're rather very limited. On the other hand, Delhi police is almost 1 lakh strong, and they have presence everywhere. They hear everything, they see everything. Another 10 days, the Delhi police could have continued with the investigation, and the results would have come quickly. Even though I know that even the NIA would be getting good results, but since the resources are less, so they have that handicap, despite the promised cooperation or expected cooperation from the Delhi police. These are my views. So overall, I think that this is a potent problem with which our country has been living and will continue to live. But we have to give back to the perpetrators of this kind of heinous crimes, dastardly crimes in our country. Thank you.
Absolutely. Joyita Basu, I want to rope you in now into this discussion. Do you also believe that we need stronger laws? Our agencies have been able to nab a lot of these people before the entire plot actually took place. Do you also think that we need stronger laws in place? We have the Prime Minister showcasing a very strong gesture. He landed in Delhi, he went to meet those who were injured, and then he put out a statement that justice, all those who were behind this conspiracy, justice will be delivered. What do you think of this?
When we are talking about those behind the conspiracies, all of them are primarily sitting in Pakistan. So I don't think the government really wants to escalate it to another warlike situation. But so I think it is also time for the government to decide to kind of, how are they going to ensure that justice has to be delivered. You have to uncover this whole plot, and I must congratulate our agencies. While the loss of 13 lives is a very sad thing to happen to our country, to our countrymen, but the fact of the matter is that this could have been a much larger plot. This was a larger plot. Thousands could have died. I mean, if this recent thing that was discovered in Gujarat, and all of these are linked. So, you see, I mean, it could have resulted in millions of deaths, and we have, let's hope, fingers crossed, that we have been able to avoid it. But you see, when we are talking about, uncovering the plot, when we are talking about delivering justice, ultimate justice delivery will happen when, because these people are all linked to Jaish. So, when we are talking about Jaish, we are witnessing what is happening in Pakistan. Masood Azhar, he has resurfaced, and he has restarted his, I would say, whatever he has been, his terrorist activities. After Operation Sindoor, after he lost a large number of his family members, he had gone into hiding, but of course, he had been talking in terms of that there will be retribution and all. So, we have to be very, very careful. Ultimately, what we have to do is that we have to neutralize these people who are heading Jaish and all. And of course, every time you cannot start bombing these seminaries, it does not work like that. So, just as the way, let's hope, just as the way our agencies are very capable, our agencies are extremely capable in terms of, have been capable in terms of unearthing this conspiracy, and this major they have been able to prevent a much bigger disaster. Well, I am certain they are in a position to reach Jaish chief Masood Azhar's home and his turf, and eventually neutralize him. All right, and because that is the only way, and they will have to go around neutralizing all the I would say terrorist elements that are in Pakistan, since Pakistan is not going to do it. There is some, of course, conspiracy theory about just to shift the world's notice on this Indian blast. This Asim Munir got done that Islamabad, these attacks in Pakistan. So, the Pakistanis are capable of a lot of things, including killing their own people, just to ensure that India does not get the world's sympathy. And the talk is all about, how India perpetrated terrorism in Pakistan, which is nonsense. The world is not going to talk about it, but they have started that to divert attention. Ultimately, you see, who is Pakistan's master? On the one hand, they have China, and now they have got USA, Mr. Trump. Now, the problem is, you see, whenever Pakistan starts thinking that they are getting a long rope from the USA, that they have some kind of a tacit backing of the US, all these terrorist attacks start, because they start thinking that the US is not going to say us anything. All right, and whatever be Mr. Trump's interests in Pakistan, the fact of the matter is that even if you see the two statements that have come from the USA, one is a State Department statement, and on India's whatever has happened in India, and the other, basically two statements have come from the State Department, one about the terrorist attack in Pakistan and the other about the attack in India, Delhi. Now, if you look at the statement that has come on Pakistan, it is about how we are full of sympathy about, about the dastardly terrorist attack that has happened in Pakistan, and the sympathies for the people. It's gushing absolutely. Now, if you look at the statement that has come on India, they are talking about an explosion. The word terrorist is not mentioned anywhere. Okay, it says, and that also comes, came about 30 hours or something like that after the incident took place. Once the Pakistani, by that time it was well established, it was a terrorist attack. They do not mention the word terrorist in that. They say an explosion took place and we are sorry about it, some nonsense like that. Now, so what will a Pakistani or a Pakistani army guy or a Pakistani handler of terrorists or Masood Azhar, what sort of a message will they take from when this kind of a communication comes from the USA? The message that they are going to take is that we can do whatever we want to India, and the US is not going to say anything. Right. So, it is on us frankly to take the action. We cannot depend on anybody.
Right. I want to rope in MK Meena at this point. Sir, do you when we talk about handlers, when we talk about backing, the most important thing in such terror ecosystems is the funding. And when we are looking at such white-collared individuals, how do we trace the entire funding, the logistical support? We've been hearing reports of these doctors traveling to foreign countries to meet their handlers. So how do we actually bust that network?
In fact, there are many people who are involved in this. Many people are involved in illegal activities, earning black money, and they are funding these kind of things. And now if you see the new trend in which highly intelligent persons, highly like those who are like doctors, they are involved in this. So they are having contact with even big persons, they are rich persons. There must be some rich persons who must be funding. There some terrorist group who are having black money, they must be funding. So funding is not an issue for them because they require money, and money comes because terrorist group, they have got different kind of modus operandi to fund for their activities. Funding is there, but issue is that this issue is very serious, in which like earlier we used to hear the unemployed youth who have been radicalized, they have been changed, they have changed their mind and involved in terrorist activity. Now they are intellectual, they are intelligent, they have studied professional courses, and now they are involved in such activity. It is very serious. It is more serious than those who are unemployed because they can plan in a better way. They have got better coordination. They have got better contacts. That's why if you see so many doctors have been arrested and they are being interrogated. Now things will come out about their funding only after interrogation. How they were funded, from fund came, then only action can be taken.
Sir, even the logistical support, because around 3,000 kgs worth of explosive material being traveling across India, across Jammu and Kashmir, across the northern parts of India. How is that possible without any trace, sir?
If you got money, you got all logistic support in India. You can hire anybody because the persons, even what happens, even those who are carrying transport, they even don't know what is the material in this. So we have got different kind of things. I don't know whether those who are aware, not aware, these things will come out only during investigation. But point is very clear, transport is easily available in India. If you have got money, you can hire anybody. You can hire any transport, you can get anything. And not only that, you can even hire laborers. Even those laborers, if you are like putting on the transport truck or any carrier, and even taking out and go to keeping and go down. Lot of like we have got a lot of laborers are available. They may not even be aware what is the material in this. So it is not a big issue for this. Issue is how it has come. Why police have failed to check what our intelligence is intelligence of state police, UT police, they were doing, what our intelligence agencies were doing, and they have collected so huge explosive. As now I also agree with ML Sharma sir ji, like the blast has taken place in Delhi. The government should not have been hurried to transfer this case to NIA because what happens once the case is transferred from one agency, one state police to NIA, the pressure on state police, like pressure on Delhi police has gone out. Now they may not be much interested in what was the origin, how this thing, and there are many things which are to be connected. So cases should always remain with the state police for some days. If they fail to have any result, then only case should be transferred to NIA. Now what happens? I don't know. I'm not blaming any agency, but every agency has got their limitations. They have limitations of resources, manpower. They have limitations resources from other sense. So it could have been better if Delhi police would have investigated. Delhi police is a highly professional police. I worked there. They were very good officers, highly expert officers, even in ATS branch, special cell. Anyhow, now it is always there. Let's hope that NIA should take help of Delhi police, J&K police, Haryana police, and whatever. All police, and they should work in coordination with all
investigative agencies are working in tandem. so that we get to the bottom of this entire terror ecosystem.
Yes.
Unfortunately, I'm running out of time, but I want to go across to Major General Dwivedi for his last words. So we had our former Chief of Defence Staff actually warning us way back in 2017 or 16 when he was stating that India is fighting a war on 2.5 fronts. We have Pakistan, we have China, but that 0.5 is internal. And we are now seeing that 0.5% striking the heart of our country. We saw that attack in Delhi.
Shivani, before the Chief of Defence Staff made this statement, I have been involved in the proxy war since 1980. And unfortunately, we have been always treating it as cross-border terrorism or terrorist activities, but we have been fighting the proxy war since 1980 from Punjab, which ultimately shifted to the Jammu and Kashmir, but we have not taken it in that spectrum, point number one. Point number two, who is actually handling Jaish-e-Mohammed, Lashkar-e-Taiba or HM? It's the Pakistan Army. Until Pakistan Army is hit, they are not going to stop, because proxy war is the national doctrine of Pakistan. And until we bring Pakistan Army into the ring, they are not going to stop, because these are the main elements. Terrorism is the main weapon, and they are not going to stop. And the third point is, this war, proxy war, is going to continue. Even it's going to get further worst, because now you have Bangladesh, Pakistan, China nexus, and having spent good deal of time in China, China is also ensuring that India is kept busy with Operation Sindoor, so that our attention is not diverted to the LAC in Arunachal Pradesh, to the Chicken Neck, and to the Bangladesh and the Myanmar. So all I can say is, we need to have a very clear-cut strategy to fight the proxy war. It cannot be one event to another event. Second point is, Pakistan Army need to be hit until they are brought to the ring. They are not going to stop.
Right.
And third point is, India need to be prepared for long haul.
Right.
Shivani.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. I thank all my guests for joining us on this broadcast. Even though there's no single answer on how to dismantle this entire terror ecosystem, we all need to do multiple things, all simultaneously and all of yesterday. Thank you for joining us on this broadcast. We are slipping into a short break.